Yeah, I got one too, so I do know what that's.
Oh, you did get one?
Yeah,
So I can
you just
sign
sign it, yep. Yeah. They don't like our decision.
Something better than somebody going 80 and 35 down Highway 212.
That might be hard to top. What was the extenuating circumstances for that?
Spring fever and a tune-up to his car. And stupidity. Which will be reduced, enthusiasm will be reduced by a cat that
I just have to sign it and I can
Yep.
send it back.
Yeah, I'll send it.
Here's the envelope.
Yep,
Oops.
I'll take, is this one too?
Take
Yeah.
all of that.
Yep,
Thank you.
okay.
Boy, I get this baby cleared off there. I had a pile of paper here this morning. I had it kind of spread out. All right, are we on? Is it 8 o'clock?
It is
Or
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Good morning, everyone. It's 9 a.m., March 27th. And to open our weekly Catalina County Board of Commissioners meeting, we'll begin with a pledge of allegiance. And Commissioner Gable, would you lead us this morning? Sure.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's a new deputy.
You've got a future commissioner.
Could she introduce herself?
I don't think she made it onto the YouTube.
As usual, a couple housekeeping chores. If you have a cell phone, please turn it off or silence it. If you get a call you need to go out into the rotunda and take the call so you don't disrupt the meeting. This meeting is being streamed live, so if you address the commission, not more than likely, you will be streamed live as well. So just a heads up. That being said,
Make a
motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Hanton, second by Van Duzen. Any discussion? I have requests for a couple of executive session. One is personnel issue, and that was from Shauna and myself. I have one in reference to contracts, negotiating contracts, labor union contracts, and that would be number 4. right?
Also, I believe Rick has an executive session too that he's requested.
Who?
And personnel, Rick, Highway Department.
Okay, so we're gonna be busy here. All right. That being said, is there anyone in the audience today that will request addressing the board during the open so that we can plan accordingly? I see none, so we'll go ahead. All in favor of the motion and second indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. What about the minutes of
Move
the...
to approve as email.
Second that.
And we have a motion by Hatton, second by Gable. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Whole same sign. Motion carries. Number 4, first reading of ordinance 67. Now, as I was telling Cindy a little bit earlier, I'm always a little, I have to, nervous when I do this. Not nervous, but want to make darn certain that we do everything correct, so that sometime down the road, something that we say or we do here doesn't come back to bite us. And as it did, we found out a while back that we have to do everything correctly. This is the first reading. There will be no input taken from the audience or from spectators. And that being said, what we will do is we will review or read the ordinance, and the ordinance is printed and it's online on our website. There are copies available. either here at the courthouse, in the auditor's office, or at the planning and zoning office. So we won't read it verbatim, word for word. It's rather lengthy, but we will introduce the ordinance, and then we'll acknowledge that this was the first reading. So Cindy, would you read it for us? Everybody should have a copy of it in their folder.
Ordinance number 67, an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending Article 4, Administration of Ordinance 65, an ordinance amending Ordinance number 15, an ordinance establishing comprehensive zoning regulations for Cottington County, South Dakota, and providing for the administration, enforcement, and amendment thereof pursuant to SDCL 11-2, 1967, and amendments thereof, and for the repeal of all resolutions and/or ordinances in conflict herewith.
Thank you for doing that. The Planning and Zoning Board has spent many hours in reviewing that. We have had public meetings, but in our second reading, which will be scheduled for,
April 10th is the second reading and public hearing at 9 a.m.
okay, does everybody take note of that? On April 10th will be the second reading, and we will take public input at that time. That being said and done, we have note in the minutes that we have given notice of the first reading. Let's go on to number 5 then.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
just for the public's knowledge, it's probably good to know that the on the county website, cottington.org, there's a zoning page that, and then within the zoning page, so if you look on the left of the website, you'll
Go
see.
through that process slowly, so
Okay, so-
anybody that's listening will
Yeah,
be able to pick up
so
on
it's
it.
cottington.org is the website, and then on the left side of the page, there's a list of all the departments to include the zoning office. On the zoning page is an ordinance amendment link. And so with that reviews the meetings, and you can see that the draft of this ordinance 67 is on there. It's a link to a bullet about the meeting that the Planning and Zoning Board the Planning Commission just had to come up with this draft. And so so you see the draft before the meeting, and then this one will be online shortly. The only difference to highlight from that draft and this draft is that insertion of limiting the number of county commissioners that could serve on the Planning Commission to not more than 2, and that's the key.
Correct. And
That's the
will
key
you,
thing.
are you going to go ahead and change that?
Luke is doing that, so.
Okay, yeah, Luke will do that. Okay, very good. All right. Hopefully everybody understands that.
Yeah, and then we have copies here for people to take too,
Yep.
so.
And there are copies here, if anyone's here, what I take with today. All right, let's go on then. Number 5, action to approve plats. We have 2 plats to look at today. The plats of Big John Addition in Eden Township and the Carpenter Addition in Waverly Township, and we'll take them individually. Now, both of these plats have gone before the Planning and Zoning Board and have been sent to us with their approval. So,
Let's take the Carpenter edition first. Do you want me to read the description that
please do.
you sent? Okay.
And there's a copy, there's, in your packet, there's a,
It was laying on your desk.
Yep,
because
it's like this.
I did not get
Yep.
up until this morning.
yep,
All right, the plat of the Carpenter Edition in the northeast quarter of Section 14, Township 118 North, Range 51 West. This plat creates 3 lots of less than 35 acres. One of the lots was allowed by existing farmstead exemption, which was granted over 10 years ago. The other 2 lots should not be allowed residential building rights unless included in a 35-acre legal description. It is the intent of the Carpenters that lots 1 and 3 will be combined with adjacent quarter sections after the property is platted. The Planning Commission recommended approval on the condition that the Carpenters sign a letter of assurance agreeing that lots 1 and 3 will only have building rights if connected to the adjacent quarter sections. Staff recommends approval as recommended by the Planning Commission.
Since these are in my district, this one is, I will make a motion to approve
we
that
have a motion
plat.
by Hatton to approve the plat. Is there a second? We have a second by Commissioner Waterman. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, the motion carries. Let's go on then to the second
plat of the Big John addition in the northwest quarter of Section 9, Township 119 North, Range 55 West. This plat was required as a condition of receiving existing farmstead exemption at the March planning meeting. The plat was recommended for approval by the Planning Commission as presented at the March meeting, and it is in Eden Township.
All right, who has Eden Township? That's Charlie, right? And do you understand what we're doing here, Charlie? All right. Is that a motion to accept?
I would make that motion,
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Waterman, a second by Gable. Any discussion? I see Charlie's getting out his plat book. We did discuss this thoroughly at the Planning and Zoning Board and did move it forward with an approval.
It was a very typical farmstead exemption like we do.
Yep.
Several of them, or that's a very typical thing that the Planning and Zoning Board does.
Is there any more discussion? Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. All right, let's go on then, monthly reports. Start out with highway. Rick, you made her back. Did you pass?
No,
Oh. I think he had it.
my appointment was rescheduled.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a lot to report other than we're doing snow removal and crack sealing as far as activities at the highway department right now. Crack sealing when we can. This morning they're working on vehicles. It's so foggy you don't dare get out on the road. We were out Saturday and Sunday plowing slush off and putting down some salt sand. We're also working on, in the office, working on upcoming projects for 3 bridges for preliminary engineering and so forth. But main part of the work at the highway department is crack sealing and plowing snow these days.
And filling a few holes.
Yes. Now there are, seeing a few chuckles, not very many, but one that we had to repair a culvert up in the Waverly area last year, and when we got it done, the hot mix plant was shut down for the season, so we had to temporarily put this millings that we put in it, but every time you get a bunch of rain and traffic, and it blows it out, so you have to keep refilling it. When the asphalt plant opens up, we'll get that one taken care of permanently.
The other thing that Rick has been busy doing is knocking mailboxes over. And they did get mine, so I'm not exempt.
With that wet, heavy snow, Saturday, I was actually out in the plow truck for a little while.
So that's, so
'Cause
you
there was
said, it might have been you, it was
It
you
might
that
have
got
been.
mine, huh?
No, I didn't go on that road.
You
so.
didn't go on that road.
But was just a narrow window when that snow
And it was
started,
sloppy.
turned to slop in the afternoon, about
yeah.
3 hours, and we're trying to get over 200 miles of roads. I actually did plow, and I actually did knock a couple mailboxes off from the posts. It's just so heavy wet, it knocks them off the post.
And that's what happened.
Rick, what is the process for homeowners that, if that happens, what?
If we hit it, if the snow hits it, that's their issue. If the truck hits it, the county gives $20 for a mailbox and $10 for a post reimbursement.
Okay.
They can either come and get, show me the damage or call me and I'll go look at it. If the truck's hit it, we can do it just as a bill and give them the reimbursement. Or if they go to Menards and buy the stuff and bring a receipt to me, then it'll run through as a bill and you'll get $20,
Okay.
up to $20 for a box. And some of these boxes are a lot more expensive than $20.
Yeah.
Those east-west roads were really tough Sunday morning.
They absolutely were. Like I said, I was out on them, and the same thing with Sunday. Just the last couple hours in the day where we had a window where it came off pretty good. But
You're right, I had to talk to my road superintendent on my driveway. I got stuck with 2 vehicles and didn't make it out till noon.
yeah,
Those Watertown public opinion, plastic, things that you amount
For
to
the
your posts
newspaper.
out there, that's hard plastic. And it just opened that up like a beer can, or like a can, and just peeled that back. That takes a lot of pressure to do that.
yeah. Well, it's
I'm
snow.
glad it didn't hit me. I'm
Yeah.
glad it hit that. All right, sorry to interrupt.
No problem. We can go on, just as well go ahead and do
Yeah.
the,
Number 7.
That's the
Yeah.
number 7, yes. That's the action to authorize a notice to bidders for asphalt mat construction.
and this, in the budget for this year, I have budgeted $778,900 for mill and overlay on a little over 3 miles of 4th Avenue between Watertown and Lake Compesca. Since then, the state has led a project on Highway 20 up in the South Shore to mill and resurface Highway 20 up in that area. And we spoke before, Myron, about doing those 3 miles or 4 miles east of Old 81 on County Road 6 that was busted up when the interstate was rebuilt. My suggestion to the commission is to do those miles up there this year with that asphalt plant being in that location. We'll get a much better price. It's not like 4th Avenue is falling apart. It's weathered and it's got transverse cracks that are a little bit rough, but it's not like it's going to fall apart. But just in the interest of saving some money, I'm going to suggest that we do those miles. Like the way I've got the bid letting set up, or the bid set up, it'll be to mill and overlay the first 4 miles east of Old 81 on 6, and then we'll look at, depending on the price per ton of this asphalt in place, maybe add 1 or 2 more miles on. I'm sure it's going to be over that $778,900 to do 4 miles or 6, but I also have $322,500 in the budget for gravel for this year. I've looked at what we've got in the gravel stockpiles in that area, and I think we'll be all right with the gravel we have. If we do need to, jump into that gravel fund for some of the money to complete this project, there's money there. It's just set aside for gravel at this point.
What did you say the estimated cost of that project was going to be, correct?
On 4th Avenue, I budget $778,900, and that's to mill and overlay.
Okay.
So would you start then from Old 81 going east? That's where you would start
Right,
the project?
County Road 11.
And I've already got a permit from DOT to go under the overpass on I-29. We have to get a permit. I've already got that from Matt Bry. All we have to do when we overlay that is make sure we maintain the 15-foot clearance under the bridge. And I also asked him, under the bridge, the asphalt's quite a bit wider than 26 feet. My plan is to just mill and overlay the 26 feet width of the driving lane. The shoulders on that road are falling apart, but that's the state's responsibility, in my opinion. And I wish the state would get in and helping us on doing this overlay, but that's just not going to happen.
All right, do we need a motion to have you switch it? Let's,
So this is just a motion to notice to bidders.
notice to
notice the
bidders.
bidders, all right. We have a
I'll
motion
second
by
that.
Gable, a second by, who was it, Hatton
I
or
did.
Waterman?
I second
Hatton.
it.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you. And then what time do you anticipate executive session? I have an item for
Yep, we noted that. Oh, we should be able to,
Be close to 10 o'clock.
10?
I think.
Okay.
yep.
I'll stop back a little bit before 10. then.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks,
We'll
Rick.
wait, we'll hold the place for you, all right?
All right.
All right, let's go on then to emergency management. Jim? Good morning, Jim.
Morning, Jim.
Good morning.
Morning, Jim.
I just have a couple things this morning. Begin with monitoring the water in the Big Sioux River, the water coming in after today. I'm sure that we're going to get pretty good flow going into the Big Sioux. So I am monitoring that. At this point, I don't have any concerns, but we'll be monitoring that from day to day, depending on what we get for precipitation and how fast the snow melts. I'll be attending the city department head meeting tomorrow, and That's at 9:15 tomorrow, so I'll be out of the office attending that meeting. On March 7th, I attended the Regional Homeland Security Grant meeting in Webster that I told you about. The money that we usually get for our region hasn't been announced yet, but using the figures from the last 2 previous years, we had less projects than what we normally have money. So all the projects that were submitted to the state, that were approved by the state, that came down to the region, are prioritized 1 through 19 or whatever it was. So all of our projects, are scheduled to be funded as long as we get the same amount of money that we've got in previous years. So just wanted to update you on that. And also I might say that the projects, the fire department, the police department, sheriff's department, and emergency management, we're working on replacing radios so that here in a few years down the road, when we have to be P25 compliant, we are caught with blindsided by that. On March 21st, Sherry and I attended the National Weather Service seminar in Aberdeen. The seminar covered severe weather, the use of weather sirens, the news media. We had a presentation there by KSFY and KELOLAND TV, and then other items of interest that we talked about. It was a very good seminar. There was a lot of talk about weather sirens and different policies. Every county operates the sirens a little bit different, and to me, it goes back to the local government entity that owns those sirens. It's going to be a tough sell to have a statewide policy saying that we're going to activate the sirens, for this and not for that. I think it comes back to local jurisdiction, the local control.
I think you said some use it for their noon whistle even, right?
Noon whistle, morning whistle,
Yeah.
night whistle.
Yeah.
And some of them use it also for fires. Here in County for like the city of Watertown, we use it for severe weather. We don't use it for any fires or anything else. It's just when sirens go off, people need to know that it's a serious situation.
I would think when they use it for other uses, it would be confusing to know what exactly it's going off for.
Right. To date, out at the Extension Center at 3 o'clock, we're having our weather spotter training. That's at 3 o'clock this afternoon. That will be in the kitchen area at the Extension Center. And tomorrow evening at 7 p.m., we'll have another session of weather spotter training. And we call it weather spotter training, but it's just training information on severe weather. It's taught by the National Weather Service out of Aberdeen. It's very informative. It's a very professional presentation. Each session usually runs about 2 to 2.5 hours, depending on questions. But that's open to the public, and we encourage anybody or everybody that wants to attend to get a little bit more information about severe weather. They are welcome to attend. There's no cost. They don't have to pre-register. All you have to do is show up at the time of the session. I'm working with the airport manager, with the fire department, the police department, the sheriff's office, and we're going to be having a airport disaster exercise out at the airport in the month of April. So just so that you're aware that I am working with the airport and other organizations or other departments on planning that exercise. And then on April 13th, I will be attending the Law Enforcement Advisory Board meeting up at the LATI. And that'll be on April 13th, so I'll be up there. And the last thing I've got this morning on April 20th, Friday, April 20th in the afternoon, I'll be out of the office. I always assist with helping with the Watoma relays up at the high school. So Friday afternoon, April 20th, I'll be out of the office volunteering there at the Watoma relays. That's all I have this morning.
Okay, any questions for Jim? Thank you, Jim.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks, Jim.
I have to thank Jim. We did a wrap-up on the safety manual yesterday as well, and Jim played a key role in that. So, all right, Brad. Thank you, Jim.
How's it going today?
Good. Your radio program must have been short this morning, huh?
We cut her short, so we can make her here today.
Good.
Heard you on the radio this morning. Sounded good, Brad. Talking about executions. Scared me a little bit.
Talked about it, yeah.
It wasn't
one
what I
thing
was
we-
thinking they were.
You know, that's usually when I say that the sheriff's office is working on executions, people automatically think, huh?
Yeah,
Didn't realize you did that.
That's one thing
Yep.
you don't do. Is
Sheriff's fees collected were $6,167.50, and warrant fees collected $325 for a grand total of $6,504.50. Then we jump over. Didn't find her, I guess, or don't have her. We'll talk a little bit about the monthly report here on the sheriff's office activity. In February, we responded to 485 cases and calls, the sheriff's office did. Responded to 9 accidents. Served 85 warrants. 199 civil papers were served. And we did 3,542 miles in transport miles. Down a little bit from January, which was 4,870. So transports were down a little bit. If we jump down to the jail activity here, you can see our average daily population for February was 64. Our high average daily population for the month was 72, and our low average daily population was 57. We had 27 people on the SCRAM bracelet, which is part of the 24/7 program. We had 43 people on the twice daily PBTs on the 24/7 program, and we had 50 people on the twice weekly UAs. That number is actually creeping up a little bit, as you can tell, looking at the prior months. That's one of the higher months, the highest month we've had in the last whole year is 50.
Can I just ask a question, Mr. Chairman? I just noticed that the ADP, it looks like it's going down a little bit, but the 24/7 is going up. I wonder if that's maybe that's something that
Yeah,
where the judges are handling it.
looking at that, I think the alternatives are starting to work. And,
Well, and I wanted to make a comment too, that if you go back, you have almost a full year of average daily population on here. We're into February 64 this year, and in March of last year it was 83.
Yes.
So that's a significant decline.
And if you look at the UAs, twice weekly UAs back in March of last year, we were at 29, and now we're at 50. So I think we're starting to use that 24/7 program a little bit more as an incarceration alternative. So
It's good.
programs are working.
But all that is judge ordered. That's something that we have no control over. It's just what the
Yes,
judges decide.
Those are all judge-ordered programs that the judge puts the offender in those programs. So,
And the failure percentage is still holding low?
excuse me?
The failure, that percentage of failures is still at
It's-
3% or somewhere in that neighborhood?
I haven't ran the report in the last few months, but it historically has been low. It's something that
That's good.
we can check here after we get another month or two of data and see. So,
But the bookings remain pretty consistent compared to what they were last year at this time.
yeah, the bookings, we did 260 bookings for February. They're staying consistent with March and February of last year, around the 260 to 250, somewhere in there. So it is a little bit more in the last few months, though. About 30 more people being booked in compared to the last few months here this year. So, all right, we'll jump on down, and we collected $8,505 from out-of-county contracts. Work release fees, we collected $6,805. 24/7 fees, we collected $5,930. And scram fees collected were $4,498.
Okay. Any questions for Brad?
I got just share a couple things that we've kind of been working on in February here a little bit. A few months ago, it was the end of last year, we had a training come in. It's called the Milo training. Learn how to use the simulator. That law enforcement training has a simulator, a training simulator, where you can come in and actually react to someone on the screen, whether it's a shooting or whether it's a jail incident or whether it's an assault or however it is. We actually got that for a week and a half. at our office here, we had a couple guys that were trained to use that and use of force instructors. So we were able to train a couple jailers and train some deputies on real life situations using that simulator, which was a really good training.
What does Milo stand for?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, all right.
Can't think.
Head of
Maybe
maintenance
Troy, you-
department.
I don't know, we have it, currently, we have it at the police department, we're putting all of our guys through it, but I don't remember what it stands for, what the acronym is.
Maybe I
But
can
Yeah,
find it.
it's some,
shoot, don't shoot simulator,
Yeah.
basically, is what it
Yeah.
is.
so that was really good training. We hope to get that back here in the future and we can run more jail staff through it. That way we can get them through some more hands-on, interacting with people, training, so,
And it's nice they can do it locally then.
yep.
Does
that's
that
nice.
come from the state then?
Yep, that's something, as long as you got guys certified and trained to use it, we can go and get it as long as it's free at that time. I think they have one or two of them that they loan out to agencies now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good program, it's a good thing. We've been working on the safety manual with a couple commissioners here, and Rick from the highway department, Jim with emergency management, and Milo Ford, kind of working on getting the safety manual going for the county. We're still accepting reserve applications for the reserve program, kind of give you an update on that. We got the policy kind of just about buttoned up on that. We opened it up for applications. We're open until April 6th. Hopefully people will come and apply. We've had a bunch of good applicants so far. It's just something I'd like to share with the public. If they hear of anybody or know of anybody, they can stop to my office and pick up an application. That's also posted on the Lake Area Tech website. If somebody wants to go there and read about it as well. And we did push it out on our Facebook page as well, so it's a good program. We recently filled the sergeant position in the jail. We kind of talked to you guys about it recently. What we did is we promoted from within. So didn't add any staff or anything like that, but we did promote jailer Matt Blackwelder to the sergeant position in the jail. So.
All right, anything else for Brad? I just want to thank Brad for his input into the safety manual. We met again yesterday morning, and that was a wrap-up meeting.
Yep.
So we're
We
ready
took
to
a-
bring it forward for everybody to take a look at.
We took a manual that was about 150 pages and cut it in half.
Condensed it.
So hopefully,
It was a
it'll
book.
work for everybody.
That's good.
All right, thank you.
All right, sounds good. Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Thanks,
All
Brad.
right, let's go on to number 8 now then. Action to approve a lease agreement for the dietitian's office space in the community health office. And that will be the new office, and that is in your packet today. Lee, did you have anything to do with that?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right.
Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve or this agreement, or to, the motions to authorize.
We have a motion.
I'll second
And
that.
a second, a motion by Gable, second by Hatton. Has everybody had a chance to read it?
This is the same lease agreement that I brought to you last week, but the dates have been
Change of the years.
changed
this
to
is-
3 instead of a 5 year.
This is what we postponed last week to this
Correct.
week, and so.
Yes.
and
So it's consistent with the
Yeah,
contract, I believe.
yeah, so the dates are the same as the,
And
The state will pay us $402 per month for the space they are leasing for the dietitian in that office.
And for clarification, that is subleasing a property that we are leasing.
Correct.
so this
Just
is-
so people don't get the wrong idea that we're leasing property and then we're still,
Yeah,
so.
but
All right, we have a
Mr.
motion and a second. Any more
Yeah,
discussion?
just if I can elaborate on what you just said.
Charlie?
Nope.
All right,
I was just going to elaborate on what you just said, Mr. Chairman. Just so this is talking about the space where the nurse is going in the building that was occupied by Kranz Insurance on First Avenue over by the fire department, across from the fire department. So this is kind of continuing what was going on before, when the dietitian was renting a little bit of space in the current nurse's office in the courthouse. So this is just kind of continuing that.
They're just following
Yeah.
because they were with them before.
any more discussion?
And it does help defray the cost of the rent a little bit, so, for the nurses.
Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Then let's go to number 9, action to authorize the welfare director to serve on and travel as needed to meetings of the South Dakota Association County Welfare Officials Committee to review and update care of poor policies, and that's for statewide. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
A motion by Gable, a second
Second.
by Van Duzen. Any discussion? I think Sarah was here yet last week and explained to
There.
us.
Is there any more that Sarah
Oh,
has
Sarah,
to add?
anything you'd like to add, Sarah?
Just, I don't know if it was, it's still kind of unknown the amount of travel. I talked to the head person. Did you guys get that email forwarded to you?
I don't think so. I don't think we're seeing it.
But
I think
just,
that's what this is.
yeah, if I could make a comment, just looking at some of the statutes that deal with care of the poor and other things that county welfare directors do, this is it's an opportunity for our county to have a positive impact on the legislation and the statutes that are going to govern the way the county does business. And it seems good that we'd have an expert. It's good that we're able to offer an expert to the state to have this discussion. So I think that's a good reason for supporting this motion. So.
Okay, good. We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Number 10 is action to allow Lutheran Church of Our Redeemer weekly church services at Memorial Park. We've been doing that for many years now.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Van
Second that.
Dusen, a second by Hatton. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Milo, action to advertise and contract a seasonal position. Please come forward. And in your packet, I think if you want to look, there is a letter of resignation from the Sowers. You could read that if you wish quickly.
Okay. I have a notice here to the Cottington County Board of Commissioners. We have enjoyed our many years associated with the park. However, we regretfully wish to inform you of our intent to resign as campground managers of Memorial Park effective May 1st, 2018. We will vacate the Memorial Park manager's residence on or before that date. Sincerely, Tom and Sharon Sauer.
Thank you, Milo. Is there a motion?
We don't need a motion.
No, we don't need a motion, do we?
Okay.
No, we just need the authorization for you to advertise.
We'll just note letter of resignation and then,
And that would be my next request, is to, request permission to advertise to fill this position. We don't have the particulars, but I would say, advertise it until filled.
this is
I'll
for the
second that.
Memorial Park
For the Memorial Park
campground
campground
managers.
manager.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make that.
I seconded it.
Second.
Any discussion? Any discussion?
This
Seeing
has,
none?
Milo,
this
how-
has to be filled by May 1st now?
As soon as
Well,
we
As
can.
soon as we
Deadline?
can,
Well,
yeah.
that's the deadline that was imposed.
ASAP, really.
You didn't put a deadline on it, it's just
We
until
haven't,
filled.
we haven't put a deadline on it.
What kind of training period are we talking about, or was required? Or?
If I could find someone that would take over, I'd fill it tomorrow, if we could.
You bet. Any more discussion? I did have an opportunity to sit down with Milo, and we did discuss some possibilities, whether they're workable or not. I think we're going to see what kind of applications we get, but there are some possibilities.
Yeah, I've been in discussion, with Carol Maloney, Treasurer's Office, on how to handle this immediate need. And I'm not sure, I asked that question the other day, I'm not sure how do we start that, is this an executive session process, or open meeting, or?
Well, I think that
I don't think it's executive session.
Okay.
It's not a personnel
No.
issue.
it's a matter of trying to utilize some of the staff that we have here
Okay.
for short term, shift them around, and
Yeah, what we have going here, we're actually, the park opens for business Monday, April 2nd, as far as taking reservations on the phone and that kind of thing. Currently, the park managers are on site. Due to what's going on out there, I think they're going to be available to help us, but they're not available to manage the park per se. So we have the opportunity, we can pull an employee from the treasurer's office. We kind of put her in charge, is what we were thinking of, put her in charge of the day-to-day reservation process out there. We threw around some ideas. Maybe we can establish some phone hours that the office phone is being answered, 10 to 7 or something along those lines. We have the possibility of pulling a employee from emergency management that would be able to help out at the park, answering phone, for certain hours. There's the possibility, my wife has volunteered to, fill in hours out there. However, that comes with the, according to county policy, I cannot supervise a family member. Therefore, Carol and I both come up with the idea, if we have the treasurer's office in charge of this particular project. I mean, this is short-term, temporary, until we can
Find someone to go into that
scramble
role.
and find out something to do. So perhaps the county could hire, like my wife would be willing to go out there if
As long as
that's.
it's not going to be a permanent position, I don't think we're going to be in big violation of just
Well, we have the state's attorney here.
temporary, doing a temporary, I mean,
I don't want to put you on the spot, but
but I mean, if it's a temporary thing, an emergency situation.
Is it a volunteer
I
thing also?
Don't,
Yes, basically, we're really scrambling here. We need to come up with bodies other than me to fill that position.
I like the idea of
in
having the
7
treasurer's
days.
office maybe take over that
but
position.
April is they're going to be collecting taxes in April.
Tough month.
Hopefully it'll be pretty temporary.
I mean,
If
it's,
Milo's wife was doing it, if the treasurer's office would supervise it, 'cause then it's just.
yeah.
It makes it a cleaner thing, and I don't want to be involved in that decision.
But I don't think it should be a volunteer position either.
No,
no.
It would have to be a paid, yeah.
And by the way, I wouldn't want to supervise a family member either.
When we
Especially
did
my
have,
wife.
the treasurer's office was involved, excuse me, back when we switched over to this system.
Correct.
So they're, sorry, they are very aware of how it works.
so what I would throw out there with the need for speed, if we can come up with a consensus, we could start training this week with perhaps three people, and then figure out how to rotate them out there starting next Monday.
One of the things that we talked about was learning the software. And Milo had to confess that his wife knows the software pretty well because she taught it to him. So the truth came out there, which I can understand, which is good. Now she can be a backup. Is there we got a motion on the floor that we should take
To
care of.
advertise and hire,
Yeah.
yeah. We should probably finish that
Let's
up
take
first.
care of that first.
We have a motion.
I'll second the
We have a
motion.
motion and a second.
Yeah, we have a
already.
motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Go ahead, you can advertise. Now, does anybody have any heartburn about what we're talking about? If Milo could put together a trio or whoever and see if we could fill that gap in, and hopefully it's going to be short.
Yeah, actually, I believe the 20th of April or the 23rd of April, the treasurer's office would like to be back to full staff.
Yep.
Because of tax collections and some training they have lined up.
Well, that is a really good opportunity for someone that has an interest in doing that type of activity. There's a home out there for them. They live on site, take care of the campground. So I can't believe that we wouldn't have somebody that would want to.
When will you advertise for this, Milo?
I'll get together with Mr. Satterley after this meeting, and hopefully we can get something in the paper by probably Thursday. Get it through listed with job service yet today or maybe tomorrow. At this point, would you like me to have Carol come in to discuss any further details, about, if we have an outside hire?
I think that Milo can handle it. I think you can explain it well enough. Is that all right with the board? We might just confuse things
Okay.
more, so, yeah.
Like I said, I don't want to be involved, especially with my wife in there, but Carol and I talked about just the clerical scale.
Yeah, as far as the wages go.
As far as
Cindy,
wages
are you
go.
all right with that?
Step
You can handle that.
step
Fill
one,
out a fill out
whatever that
personnel
would be.
change form, and we'll,
Yep,
that board can act on it Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
very good. Okay,
This is something that we do need to be very quick in doing because we're getting at reservations, I'm sure, already, aren't we?
Well, the online has been very active,
Yeah.
but we've been pushing it that we're open for phone calls starting April 2nd. So
my
we need to
understanding is the Sowers
care
do
of
have a place to move to, so they will vacate the house probably.
when they can, they're working on finding a place.
And then it's probably going to require us to go in and maybe do a little painting or something, or cleaning between residents. That's,
We just painted and updated, but
Yeah.
we'll need to go through and
Yeah,
just do
that was
it.
4 years ago
Right.
when we did that. So
things have to be brought up to stuff. Okay,
thank you. Anything else?
any other questions?
I'm welcome to any and all suggestions on this subject. Please feel free to call me.
Thank you, Milo. Appreciate
Thanks,
the work
Milo.
you're doing on this. All right, let's go on then. Our state's attorney has been sitting here very patiently, and she has a couple of job descriptions that she would like to update, and they needed updating. She was showing me the other day where they were supposed to know how to operate a manual typewriter in the old job description, and I think that's, when you see that, it's kind of time to make some updates then. So go ahead, Becky.
Yeah, these, in looking to get our job announcement out for the opening due to the retirement, found that the job descriptions were from 2000 and 2003. They both reference taking shorthand, transcribing dictation, just in using equipment that we don't use anymore as far as typewriters and stuff. So it's just an update, and then just a little more got put into the legal secretary job description, kind of cross-referencing the duties and stuff. So it's truly just an update.
Has everybody had a chance to look at them?
Yes. I'd make a motion that we approve
We have a
the
motion
job
by Hatton.
description updates.
I had a question about the text on VOTEC degree.
Oh,
Do
we
you,
can change that.
Yeah.
Technical degree, maybe?
a technical school
Yeah.
degree, or do you want an associate's degree or a
Or
diploma?
We can call it that way. Yeah, I can clarify that.
Yeah, just,
Yep.
Yeah, I did see that
I
as
didn't,
well.
because the VOTEC is not the
Yeah,
term
it's-
nowadays.
yep.
It's technical college or technical
Yeah,
institute. So.
Technical degree, legal
Or,
degree.
2-year technical
Associates.
associates.
Associate's degree, if that's what you want, or
Yeah,
or
let's just
diploma or
go.
certificate or something like that. I mean, that's, or just technical school training. It depends on what you want.
Okay.
So,
All right, where is, that's minimum qualifications is where that's at at the
So we'll just
bottom.
modify that.
Yep.
yeah.
So what are you
On
going to
the-
modify it to?
I think we'll just say associate's degree.
Okay.
On the legal secretary.
Yeah.
Well,
On
I'm
both.
glad that's legal, not an illegal
Well, it's
secretary.
on both.
It's on both
It's on
of them.
both.
It's
of
on
them,
both.
So,
So,
It's on both
Yep.
sections,
Yeah.
yep. So-
Very good. We have a motion by
Motion by-
Hatton.
Yes.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Second by Gable. Any more discussion? Good discussion. Thank you for updating these, Becky. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks, Becky.
Thank
Are
you,
you
Becky.
going to stand
I can stay,
by?
yeah.
All right. Won't take long to get through these others. Number 13, action to approve a contract with the South Dakota DOT for weed control. Steve is not here, but it's in your packet.
This is a
This is-
contract, it's basically a bid that our weed supervisor puts in for maintaining the weeds along state highways. The total bid he is submitting is $24,765. We do this annually.
Make a motion to approve that contract with DOT.
Motion by Hatton,
And second.
second by,
I got
who got
Troy.
it?
Troy's who I heard.
Troy, Van Duzen, any discussion? It's the same as we did in the past few years, so all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. We have a request, action to approve an abatement application, not an abandonment.
And I
abatement.
actually have 4 of those to bring before you.
All right,
These are all property owners who qualify for a state program. They've qualified by different means, and they have to fill out an application in the treasurer's office that has to be verified, and then it goes to the director of equalization, who either recommends or does not recommend. She has recommended approval of all these abatements. The first one is record number 7671. The total tax to be abated is $475.64. Second is record number 18408, and the amount to be abated is $65.34. Record number 11137, the amount is $269.60. And record number 8307 is $335.16. And the reason we refer to these by record number is because the applicant's information is confidential, protected by HIPAA.
Make a motion to approve those
we have a
abatements.
motion by Hatton to approve these 4
I'll second it.
applications. We have a second by Gable. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing no more discussion, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. How about claims for payment?
We have we have salary claims, and we have one additional claim that the treasurer would like to have processed. It is to the Aitkin County Sheriff's Office in Minnesota, and it was for serving a notice of intent to take tax deed property. The amount is $127.
Move to approve those claims.
Second.
We have a motion by, who made the motion?
Brenda?
Brenda, Hatton, second by Gable. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. How about budget supplements?
We do have, I'm sorry, we do have salary claims also.
Oh, yeah,
March
yes,
claims.
sorry, yeah.
March salary claims total $515,917.09. There is nothing out of the ordinary in this month's salary claims other than step increases, which you have previously approved.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Hatton, second by Gable. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Now we'll go to the automatic budget supplements.
None today.
Good. Action to approve personnel changes. In the back of your packet, there are, I think, is there one?
Two.
Okay.
Both correctional officers both do a step increase. These are both part-time correctional officers, and instead of getting an annual increase, they get their increase based on the number of hours that they work. So they're both entitled to move from Amalia Barrientos is a correctional officer. She'll move from step 1 to step 2 to $18.01 per hour. Shane Yost will move from steps 2 to step 3, $18.58 an hour.
What was that last name?
Shane Yost.
Got it.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion by Van Duzen, second by Gable. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you. Travel requests, we have 2, one from Steve and one from Equalization Office.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okey-doke.
Director of Equalization, this is to attend their annual conference in Rapid City. It's the South Dakota, I can't remember what AAO stands for right now. South Dakota Association of Assessing Officers, I believe.
Yep.
So that would be the Director of Equalization and the appraisal staff, including the database coordinator. And second one is for the Weed and Pest Supervisor to attend the Van Diest 2018 Mosquito Workshop.
Move to approve those.
We have a motion by Hatton, second by the Gable. Any discussion?
Are they all going to take one vehicle out there?
I
just
don't know
curious.
if they can fit
There's
in
5 of
one
them going.
vehicle. I don't think the Expedition is big enough for all of them plus luggage, so I think they usually take 2 vehicles.
Well, it's big enough for them. I don't know how much luggage they're gonna take. So, all right, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll see you, Don. Have a good week.
I'm gonna get this knee repaired, so you can try it back.
All right.
Okay.
You gotta put a Zerk in it so you can grease it or something?
We're gonna do that.
Yeah, that's
Be
good.
kicking field goals before too long.
Marathon run.
There you go. Old business this morning. Do we have any mature business?
Yes,
Yeah,
Mr.
Gable.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, just to update a couple things on the courthouse remodel. As you probably saw an email that went out to all the commissioners and to the plans, pretty much final. There's going to be an addendum on 6 April. That's to kind of catch all the other things. But if somebody wants me to email them, there's a bunch of links with some pretty significant files to be downloaded. We also have paper copies. There's one sitting, a paper copy here for people to look at, as well as Milo has the large sheet. And then on the 29th in this room at 1 o'clock is the pre-bid meeting for interested potential bidders. So the architect will be here, and then to walk the potential bidders, contractors through the building to show them what the nature of the remodel is. And so that's, yeah, I'm sorry, I said March 29th.
March 29th.
When is it?
29th is on a Sunday.
Yeah, March 29th, so that's this Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
At
sorry
what
if I
time?
misspoke. So March 29th.
1 o'clock.
Okay.
Not April, okay. And then, thank you, thanks. And also, there's, on the CCJAC website, there's just that color schematic, and that rendering is up for, if people want to take a look at that. If people really want to see the detailed plans, they're free to contact me. And that's kind of a large file. We'll try to find a way to put that on there at some point, or part of it anyway. Then we moved the CCJAC meeting from tonight to 6 April. So the next CCJAC meeting is 6 April at 6:10 p.m. at LATI. Not tonight, but tonight, just a reminder, I think we'll hit it on the open about there's another event that the Watertown Healthy Youth Coalition is doing tonight at LATI. So I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay, I had a chance to visit the departments that are going to be affected. Well, I guess everybody's going to be affected to some extent, but they're all seem like they're got a pretty positive attitude about getting moved and getting into new locations, and that's good. Milo, as you know, is already moved, and
Yeah.
I walked in his office a while back, and it looked like he'd been there forever. So he's pretty well settled in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Just a couple things on, speaking of Milo and what he's been up to. So the carpeting and the painting, I think it's pretty much done over
Yeah,
the
it's done,
auditorium
yeah.
offices. And so in the end, the idea is to make better use of the space we have in this building. I think that's what this does. And one thing I forgot to mention is, as part of just for everybody's awareness, as part of the check set of the plans that are there now. So we had the fire inspector take a look at that. So that's in the works, and then also the State Historical Office takes a look at that. So people know that there's a process in place that we have to comply with by code and by law. And so those things are going on.
I think they were hooking up phones over there yesterday.
Beg your pardon?
Hooking up phones
Yep.
in the auditorium yesterday,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's coming along. All right, any other old business? Any other old business? Seeing none, how about any new business? Any new business? Yes.
Just a quick, we had the meeting of the Juvenile Detention Alternative Initiative last week, Thursday. The state's still waiting on I think they have a new contractor or a new consultant on board for that program statewide. So that's right now what that working group is doing, is going through a set of national training videos from the Annie E. Casey Foundation about juvenile detention. So not a lot happening right now as that new consultant gets on board.
Troy, do you have something?
No, I guess I just wanted to reiterate that the safety manual's coming along.
Yep.
And
Do you want that
so we're
on
still,
the agenda for next Tuesday for approval, or do you want to, we are trying to help Milo proof it, but I'm going to be short-staffed this week, so I don't know if we'll
I'm wondering
get
if we
it
could
all
have
looked
it
over.
It's not the end of the
ready to
world.
go.
Should I go out to the 10th
Yeah,
instead?
that'd be fine.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I think so.
Also, new business, open business, we did receive our payment from the town of Henry for that property.
Oh, good. Okay.
So next Tuesday, I have action to approve a quit claim deed to the town of Henry. So
Okay,
I'll put the safety manual on for the 10th.
very good. Any other new business?
Just something that I need to give you a heads up on. I will be, for some reason, our association has decided our spring workshop will be on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Oh,
I don't remember voting on this, but apparently some other people decided it would work. So I will be absent on the 15th of May, so I'll have one of the girls sitting in on that date to take your minutes. I'll need to leave for Pier late in the afternoon on the 14th.
good. And we will miss you, Cindy, but it's not all bad that we have
I will
one of the
try
other
and-
girls sit in.
I will try
because
and keep it as uncomplicated as
You
possible.
could be sick someday and we need somebody here, and they know how to do it.
I know. Yeah.
All right. That being said, is there anything else? How about the open?
All right, I have quite a few events that there could be a quorum of commissioners. Starting today, we are having a tour of the Boys and Girls Club. As has been mentioned, the Healthy Youth Coalition tonight at LATI at 5:30. There's also a weather spotter this afternoon at 3 o'clock at the Extension. And then moving to tomorrow, there's the weather spotter training at 7 p.m. at the Extension. On Thursday, the First District Governing Board meeting at 4 o'clock p.m. There could be a quorum of commissioners at that. And also that bid opening, at 1 o'clock on Thursday afternoon.
Not bid opening, it's just a pre-bid meeting.
Pre-bid meeting, okay.
Yeah. What time is that?
My
1 o'clock.
And that's
pre-bid
here.
meeting, sorry.
In this room.
And I believe that's all I have up till next Tuesday, that there could be a quorum.
Does everybody have on their calendars marked April 10th? County Board of Equalization will start at 1 p.m. on Tuesday.
Yep.
Consolidated Board will meet that evening at City Hall. If you cannot be available for the Consolidated Board, you will need to let Shauna know, because if any of you are absent, I think it changes the numbers of the city
Correct.
Or the school
people
board.
or the school board people.
Yep.
So if
What time is that, do you know? They don't know
I
what
think
time
I
yet?
advertised 6:30.
Okay.
I have
That
advertised,
at City Hall?
and it's
Yeah.
at City Hall, correct.
Same people as last year?
No, they
It's up to
changed
the
it.
school and
Yeah.
the city to
No, I
appoint
mean the
somebody.
commissioners.
For us,
Yeah.
yeah, all the
Yes,
commissioners
we have-
are expected to be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you cannot
Yeah.
be there, you will need to let Shauna know so she can plan ahead for how many city and school board members to.
Give us those dates and times one more
April
time.
10th
Okay.
at 1 p.m. in this office for County Board of Equalization.
Okay.
April 10th at 6:30 p.m. at the City Council Chambers for Consolidated Board. If you cannot get through all the business at either one of those meetings, a date will be set then as to when we will next meet.
Generally, it's the next following.
Generally, it's the next
this
Tuesday.
Tuesday, which would be the
Correct.
17th.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right,
Depends on how many we have.
And I have not heard anything yet.
1 p.m. here and 6:30 at the city.
Yes. Yep.
I did talk to Shauna yesterday, and as of yesterday, there weren't any.
Just at the county, but not the consolidated, right?
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
That could change overnight quickly.
Yeah.
All right, anything else for the open?
What's that?
We don't know about that yet.
Anything else?
Oh, she probably would.
Yeah.
Okay, that being said, then we have several requests for executive session, and Rick is here, so we just will start out with Rick, so I'll
Make a
entertain
motion.
Okay, we
I'll make a
need
motion
We
to-
need to designate which items you're going into before you go in, so you
Go
don't have
in.
to come back out and make another motion.
All right,
So number 1,
Number 1,
personnel,
yep,
number 4.
and number 4.
number 4.
I'll make that motion that we're going
Do we
into
have
number 1.
2 items
I would second.
for number 1?
We have 3, I think.
We have 3,
3
I think.
items, okay.
3
Yeah.
personnel.
So I have a motion and a second.
We have a motion, and a motion was by
Brenda,
second was
second
by
by-
Waterman.
Yes.
All right. Any discussion? We did the discussion already, right? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are in executive session.
Will there be any?
And I don't think,
Do you want to stop next door to my office, or do you want me to email it to you? Just take me a minute.